when Willie died, we had a choice to make. We could have just let it go and just brought in another actor, or let the character go and just disappear. Then, if we decided we really wanted to tackle it and on the show, well, what is it that we're going to say? So the first thing was to talk to some people who knew the age group. And what we were told was that, first of all, emotions and the sense of loss that adults feel when somebody dies is different than what a 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old. For them, it's not about the sadness. They don't quite understand the loss in the sort of cosmic sense of loss. It's more personal, you know. And it may be fleeting. You know, it's not going to be this deep sense of grief. Maybe it would be so with a parent. You know, more mystified and more connected because there's more of an emotional connection. So, what do they need to know? Because you can't. What does a 3-year-old need to know about death? What's important to tell them? And so it's the basics. When somebody dies, they don't come back. That's what it means. Well, they did this and this and this for me. Well, let's go. You're going to be okay because so and so is going to take over. And well, I'm angry. I'm sad. Whatever you're feeling is okay. So it's really that. And then they gave us some don'ts. Don't say Mr. Hooper got sick and went to the hospital and died. Because children's parents, loved ones, sometimes get sick and go to the hospital. Well, if that happened and we told them he went to the hospital and died, they may make the connection that, oh no, Mom went to the hospital, she's going to die. So you're sort of putting very limited amount of information in what you do. So I kind of knew what the segment was going to be. I used one thing that I knew that Carol did, and I just learned that, which was that Carol himself, Carol Spinney, who plays Big Bird, draws. And so I used that in the narrative for the segment in which he finds out that Mr. Hooper is no longer with us. And I had already had an idea for a segment in which, again, an idea that I got from seeing Carol do something off camera. And off camera, you know, the way the puppet is done is the hand is up here in the beak, and then there's another hand here, and there's a fake hand that's got a string that goes from this hand to that hand. So when this hand moves, the other hand goes the other way, and it's that. So I'd seen Carol take his beak and put it between his legs so that he was actually looking behind himself, right? And I had this idea that I wanted to do something where an adult sees him doing it. And it's the kind of thing that kids do, and adults will see a kid and they'll go, why are you doing that? And there's no purpose necessarily. They're just doing it because they're trying something out, you know? And so I wrote this segment in which Gordon sees Big Bird doing this, and he says, why are you doing it? What are you doing that for? He said, I don't know, it's hard to explain that. Just because? He says, oh, okay. He says, you know what I'm going to do now? He says, what? This. And he walks off camera and he goes, doo-doo, 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 doo-doo. And Gordon looks at the camera and goes, doo-doo, 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 and he goes off. So that was this isolated segment that I just had in my head that I wanted to do. And all of a sudden I realized it would be a good way to put that together with the segment in which Big Bird learns that Hooper is gone, because we had to answer the question, why? And you really can't answer that question. There's lots of, or you have answers for that question. They're either religious answers or all that sort of stuff. But we didn't want to get into that. And so what I did was I put those two things together, and this is an example of what we talked about before. What would an adult say in this circumstance? And given that Gordon had had this experience of Big Bird saying to him, I'm doing this just because, he used that. And when Big Bird says, why does it have to be this way? Gordon says to him, just because. So it all sort of came together, those two things. The other thing that I did was I wanted to have an ending, another segment. So this was done in segments throughout the show. And I wanted to bring birth into this. And so what I did was when Big Bird comes to bring the picture that he has of Mr. Hooper, that he wants to give to Mr. Hooper, along with all these other pictures, the people are, all the grown-ups are sitting around talking about so-and-so just had her baby in the hospital, and she's coming back today, and all of this. And so at the end of the show, Big Bird is at his nest, and in comes this woman with her baby, and they're talking, and it's the last thing Big Bird's, well, one of the things Big Bird says, you know what's amazing about babies? 1 minute they're not here, and the next minute, there they are. And, you know, it's just the opposite. 1 minute somebody's here, and the next minute they're not. And then I wrote it in the script, I said, he hangs the picture on the fence. And he says, I'm going to miss you, Mr. Looper. And Maria says, that's Hooper, Big Bird. And I said, let's leave that there for all time. And so, as far as I know, it's still there.